Sir, and today I will present my conveyance system of A and B, which is the project that Sir have given. So now I'm sharing my PowerPoint. So this is a project of pneumatic by Lee. So introduction of before we're gonna start our project, we need to know what is the conveyance system. So a conveyance system is a fast and efficient mechanical handling apparatus that automatically transport a load and material within an area from one place to another place. So the easy simple is that among other things, this system reduces human error, workplace risk, and the labor cost. They are useful for transporting a large or heavy object from one location to another. So conveyor system may use a belt, wheels, roller, or a train to transport objects. A rotor powers the drive pulley, and belt is the most common conveyor system design. Friction between two surfaces pulls the belt to the rotor. For the belt to move more effectively, both the drive pulley and the idler must rotate in the same direction, either clockwise or counterclockwise. So what is the benefit of the conveyor system to our industry? So the primary function of a conveyor system is to transport an object from one location to another. This is very common, as we can see in many industry and factory. Because of the design, the objects are too heavy or bulky for human to carry by hand can move. So this is why we need the conveyor system. Conveyor systems save the time when transporting items from one location to location, and you also save the human force. They make it easier to move items up and down floor because they can be climbed to span multiple levels, a task that causes physical strain when performed manually by human. Inclined belt can be automatically unload material, eliminating the need for someone to be on the other end to receive piece. So what is the type of conveyor system can be found? There are many types of conveyor system can be found in many industry. So nowadays, there are many types of conveyor system they be found, and each of those have its own benefit and advantage toward how this system transfer the package. The example of conveyor system can be found is the roller, a very common one, belt, overhead, magnetic, wheel, chain, screw, and working beam, sled, and of course the pneumatic system which we are doing now. Each type of conveyor serves a specific purpose. For example, a slant conveyor, for example, is made of slate or plate rather than a belt, and is designed to move a heavy material. The material conveyed by a slant system are typically too large or heavy for traditional belt movement. Which is the slate? I will show you. Yeah, this is a slate conveyor that I just now talked about. So basically, for the package that involve eating material, clothing, and drinking, we may just use the conveyor system of pneumatic to transfer it from one location to others, and we may try to avoid by using the hydraulic conveyor system for those material, as the pneumatic source inlet is using the air compressor to move the mechanic, while the hydraulic is using the fluid or maybe a liquid to move the mechanic, and it's kind of strong smell which is not suitable for those food, because you just imagine those fluid smell is stick at your foot. So these are the type of conveyor that I mentioned just now, which belt, gravity roller, and chain driver, and of course pneumatic conveyor system that did not adhere this picture. So introduction of clamping system. There are many kind of clamping system, but the usually we see is the clamp, the woods, all these things. The clamping unit function include opening and closing a diet as well as product injection. Basically, a clamping unit are used to keep the mouth closed against the force created by injection pressure, pushing plastic into the closed mold. Basically, we just using a clamp. We can simple word, we using the clamp to clamp the thing so that it cannot move to anywhere. So the machine size are determined by the clamping twinge force. So we're gonna start our for the task one conveyor A, which is transfer things to conveyor B to done the clamping. So first of all, conveyor A is more to a moving. So this is my first. This is my diagram of circuit diagram of my conveyor A. So as what I can see, there are three type of switch, which is switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3. And and you also have a double pressure valve, a 5 two-way valve, and of course a double cylinder. So each of the component have its own function. Okay, for the diagram above, okay, for the operation of conveyor A, firstly, when we need to make the mechanic start, it's important to enter the air compressed from the distributor block to the 3-2 push button S1 and S2, the 5 two-way block and the 3 two-way roller. Firstly, when we connect the air supply, we may activate the push button of S1 or an S2 at the same time, as it is an logic system, so that the air will flow from the inlet source to the working port, which go direct to the double pressure valve. You must ask why we using an logic and why we do not use an or logic. Actually, or logic also can be used in this, but we prefer an logic system for the safety purpose, as this logic we need as this logic we need to push the push button at the same time, so they can help the worker to be more alert when doing the mechanic, although or logic can be used at this circuit. Next, after the double pressure valve receives the air pressure, it will transfer to the 5 two-way measurement. It will transfer to the 5 two-way valve block, and the piston of the double acting cylinder will be advanced at the measurement that I've labeled just now. After that, a roller push button, which S3 is ready at the position of the piston advanced position, and this roller behaves as a sensor and help the piston that fully advanced to go back by the position by the help of 5 two-way valve block. So basically, we just push this button at the same time so that the double pressure valve will go here and push the 5 two-way directional valve, so that the air source will come from here and push to until S3. So the S3 sensor will sense this and push back the piston to its retract position. So the application of conveyor A, for the application of this conveyor A, I would say it can be installed at the station A, which is suitable for the purpose of the question, which transfer a product from a place to place, which is to the station B. So these the components and equipments they need for the circuit. So for the circuit that are just done. So we need a 3 two-way valve with push button, one double pressure valve, one 3 two-way valve with roller for act as a sensor, a double acting cylinder, and a 5 two-way valve directional control valve. So this is the conveyor B as it is used to clamp the things so that it cannot move to any way. So I will make it big. So as you can see, there are two 3 2 roller, and each of them act as a sensor, a 3 two-way directional control valve, and a single acting cylinder. Okay. So for this operation of the conveyor B, firstly, always remember to connect the inlet valve by using the distributor block to the 3 two-way valve with the roller of S4 and S5. The 3 two-way valve also the distributor block. Firstly, When we connect the air supply, the roller at S4 will act as a sensor when we push it or touch it which will directly connect the air supply from the inlet manifold to working port, which is the air supply will goes to the 3-2-way valve, and the 3-2-way directional control valve will transfer the air supply to the single acting cylinder, and the piston of the cylinder will advance as they are air pressure push the piston to the advanced place. When it is reached to the fully advanced position of the piston, the others roller of 3-2-way valve, which is S5, that placed exactly at the position of the advanced piston. And this roller, which is S5, will sense it and retract the piston back to its original position when the roller closes the air pressure from the 3-2-way directional control valve. Basically, this theory is same as the conveyor air, which we need to put a sensor at the end of the advanced position of the piston. Basically, a roller can have a many benefit as not only can act as a normal push button, but I can also act as a simple sensor. Okay, for the easy talk, I'm gonna say that when there are things of force is pushing the sensor, it will push the 3-2-way directional control valve, which this directional control valve will let the inlet source to push the piston to the advanced position. While when we install the S5 roller to the end of the advanced position, it will sense it and act as a push button to push back the 3-2-way directional control valve so that the air source will close and make the piston to come back to its retract position, which theory is exactly a bit same as the conveyor A, sorry. So for the application of conveyor B, the first basic function of a jig or fixture is to locate to the workpiece. Once found, the workpiece must be hold in place to avoid movement during the operation cycle. Clamping is a process of holding the position of the workpiece in the jig or fixture. The application of conveyor B can be applied at the station B, which is the item is being clamped once reached at station B after go through the conveyor travel at the station A. So this is the components and equipment that need for the conveyor B, which is we need two 3-2-way valve with roller, one 3-2 valve, and one single acting cylinder. So first of all, we need to we need to have a comparison between two systems, which is conveyor B and conveyor A. Okay. So for the conveyor A, firstly, we need to compare for the purpose. For the purpose of this conveyor A, it is used to transfer a product from one location to other's location. And for the purpose of conveyor B, it is used to clamping a product, so it prevent any movement or separation through the application of inward pressure. So after that, for the second, we need to compare in the term of time consumed. For the conveyor A of time consumed, it may be take some time as you need to transfer things from one place to another place, which you need sometimes. So for the time consumed of conveyor B, it can be done in the short time as you require to clamp a product only. So which a short time can be done. So after that, we need to compare in the term of actuator that used for the conveyor. So for the actuator that used for the conveyor A, it is using the double acting cylinder as the actuator. So for the conveyor B, it is using a single acting cylinder as the actuator. So for the indirect control valve, or we call it as double directional control valve, the conveyor A required to use the 5-2-way valve as the indirect control valve or directional control valve. For the conveyor B, is using the 3-2-way valve as the directional control valve. So for the type of connection of the conveyor A, is using as parallel way to connect it. This kind of conveyor is using the air compression as the main source to active mechanic. So for the B, it is also same, which is using a parallel way to connect it, and is using the air compression as a main source to activate the mechanic. Last, we need to compare the term of switching. So for the conveyor air, it is using the double acting cylinder as controlled by two switch, which is responsible to advance and others to retract it. Which we need to push the two, which need to push the two button. And for the conveyor is using the single acting cylinder as it can control by the one switch only, which is responsible to advance it, and the other switch is controlled by the non-memory directional valve, which we can see for the conveyor B. So operation of this system. Okay, sorry. So this is the overall system that I have done. So as we can see, this is the conveyor A and conveyor B, which combined then used and frequently used in the industry. As we can see, we combine this, which is they are equal to they are about 4 switch together. Let me explain what is the operation of this system. For the operation of this system, which is the combination of two conveyor systems, I would like to have a simple talk about how this system works. As the factory, safety is very important for the worker, which make me to use the end logic in the first system that need to press the two push button at the same time. For the operation works, I need to press the two button, which is the S1 and S2, so that the air compress will go through the double pressure valve. After that, when the air compressed from the double pressure valve successful flow through, it will go to the directional control valve, which is the 5-2-way valve and 5-2-way directional control valve, and the air pressure will go through at the first port, which is the inlet port, and go to the working port at 4, which is the exhaust port, which is the working port, which connect to the double acting cylinder, and the piston will advance it. When the double acting cylinder of the piston is fully advanced and touch the 3-2-way roller valve at the second conveyor, it will sense it and act as the push button to make the 3-2-way valve, which is at the directional control valve, to connect the air supply from the distributive block and make the piston at the single acting cylinder advance and clamp the product. When it is fully advanced again at the single acting cylinder, the second roller, which is S4, will sense it and act as a push button to retract the 3-2-way valve that act as a directional control valve to close the air supply, and the piston will be retracted back. After that, at the same time, the second roller, which is S4, also help to retract back the 5-2-way directional control valve to close the air supply, so that double acting cylinder also will be retracted back by its position. So for the easy talk, I would like to say, when we need to start the mechanic first, we need to push the two push button S1 and S2 together. So because this is an logic, so that the directional control valve will connect the air supply and push the 5-2-way directional control valve, so that the air supply from the first port will transfer it to the conveyor A, so that the piston will go to advanced position and touch. And when the piston of conveyor A is touching the S3, which is the roller and which acts as a sensor, the sensor will sense it and push the push the 3-2-way directional control valve, so that the inlet port will have the air source to push the single acting cylinder piston to the advanced speed. So when the conveyor B is clamping the product, when it sense the S4, which is the fault sensor, the sensor will sense it and act as a push button to push back the piston, and at the same time you also can push back the 5-2-way directional control valve, so that the piston also will be go back to the same time at the same time. So these are the total component and equipments that are used for the overall of the system which is three two-way valve with push button, one double pressure valve, one double acting cylinder, one 5-2-way valve which acts as a directional control valve, two 3-2-way valve with roller, one 3-2-way valve which acts also as a directional control valve for the conveyor B, and one single acting cylinder. So conclusion of the topic. To summarize, we can set up and operate a pneumatic system using the equipment provided. The operation of the pneumatic circuit can be briefly explained theoretically and logically. And it is also possible to identify pneumatic system components. Pneumatic has numerous industry applications, such as clamping, transferring, shifting, stamping, pressing, and embossing are all examples of labor-intensive tasks in the industry. In every day, we see tools that make use of hydraulic or pneumatic system. During the construction stage, for example, a forklift can be seen. As a result, fluid power is gaining in importance. Fluid power may become more prevalent in everyday life in the future. A pneumatic mechanic can be efficient to bring a good productivity to the production of the product, as the demand of the world may be a lot. Without all the mechanics' help, it will slow down the economy of the world and even increase the duties and burden of the human force, as humans cannot do all the things in the short time, while the mechanics can do it at the short time and at the same time also. And this is all of my presentation, and thank you, sir.